Welcome everybody to my second installment. This is my video vlog to share with family, friends, and basically anybody who wants. Feel free to leave messages or any questions you have. I'll try to handle them. Just to give you an update on what's happening, I have about 30 days left before I start the Appalachian Trail. And I'm planning on doing this video as a gear video. I'll probably have a couple of gear videos, and I'll also sneak in a question and answer video since all my family and friends have been asking lots of good questions that I think I should answer. So, not out on the Appalachian Trail today, but just hiking around town. And I'll get back and we'll do a gear video. Thanks. In case you're curious, found this little guy running around. He ran up the tree. It's a fisher cat. Pretty big fisher cat. Bigger than I've seen before. Probably at least 36 inches. Okay, folks, here you have it. The famous gear video. I'm going to go through each of the things that I'm going to be including in my backpack for my trip and what I'm going to be wearing while on the trail. What you're looking at here is really my starting load. I'm assuming that come the winter, I'm going to have to augment this for the winter hiking. But let me go through each of the categories as they're in order on lighter pack. Okay, first up, I have my backpack category, and in my backpack I have the Granite Gear Crown 2 backpack. It's 60 liters. Right now, I think I'm going to be keeping the brain. But I can take that off, it's optional. I'm also going to be using a backpack liner, basically a plastic bag, a tough plastic bag. All told, that comes in under 3 pounds at 2.7 pounds. Okay, next up, I have my sleep system. My sleep system consists of a Thermarest pad. It's a self-inflating pad. And a Kelty Lightyear sleeping bag. It's a 25-degree bag. It's a little bit small, but it's light. It weighs just 2 pounds. Also in my sleep system is a pair of socks, and these socks are there. It's a fleece sock. It's really warm. In the hammock, my feet tend to get cold, so I like the heavy socks. So that makes it for my sleep system. Okay, next up is my shelter, and I am going with the Hennessy hammock, backpacker, ultra light, and also I use the Hex Hex tarp from Hennessy as well. Lastly, as part of this is just a plastic ground sheet for underneath the hammock or underneath the tarp if I don't put up the hammock part. It's actually fairly lightweight and keeps the moisture off if I'm going to be laying on the ground. Inside my bag for my tarp, I also have my stakes, and I'm carrying 6 stakes. The stakes are an aluminum alloy, so they're fairly light. I carry 6 because if I set up my tarp alone with my trekking poles, I take 6 stakes. If I'm using just the regular hammock setup with 2 trees, I only use 4. Okay, next up is clothing. This one's a little bit tougher. There's a lot of items in clothing, but I Actually, take a look now. I've been taking things away as I've been kind of going through them. Now it looks like a manageable amount of stuff for carrying. So I'm going to start off on the right-hand side here and walk through it. First, I have my puffy. My puffy is actually from Land's End. It's ultralight down, and it's heavy comparatively against the other ultralight puffies. It's actually 23 ounces, but it's warm, water resistant, and it does a good job. I also have for rain, I have rain pants. These are just simple nylon rain pants, and the frog togs for the raincoat. I'm actually kind of pleased with the frog togs. It's clear that they have one problem or challenge they have is that they're just not that durable, but they're definitely very light, and they're also comfortable to wear. So I'm actually quite pleased with those. I don't think I'll have a problem. As we scan on over, I have a fleece cap that's mostly for sleeping. And as far as long underwear, I will be carrying both a long underwear top and a long underwear bottom. I think that those are for the colder nights. For shoes, I'm actually going to be bringing some camp shoes. These were ones that they're super lightweight. I've used them some and feel pretty good about them. For the sun, I will be bringing a baseball cap, and I also have for socks. I'm gonna go down to socks here. I have just two pair, Darn Tough and Smart Wool. They're just some good tough hiking socks. 2 pairs of wicking underwear from EMS, a bandana, and two wicking shirts. One I call my my Matt shirt and my Clara shirt. And lastly, I'll be starting with a pair of convertible pants. You can zip off the legs to make shorts. These are fairly lightweight, and knowing what the bugs are going to be like up north in June, I think long pants are going to be in order. Lastly, I have a bag that is a stuff sack. I know people say, oh, look, there's no need for a stuff sack, but actually this one's so nice that it actually makes a great pillow, whether it's got clothes in it or not. So I kind of like it. Very lightweight, so I'm bringing it. Okay, we've been cranking through this stuff. I'm sure most of you are wondering, well, where the heck did I hide the saxophone? Honestly speaking, at 125 ounces, 0.7, I couldn't see fitting it into the backpack. But, it maybe if I had gone with the soprano, but I couldn't see putting people through that pain and suffering of listening to the soprano sax. So the saxophone did not make the cut. Okay, next, I'm going to try to do the kitchen. The kitchen is going to take a little bit of work here because I'd like to show you what's in my pot. To start with, I've got a food bag. It's 25 liters, very large. I've never had any problem, but it's nice to be able to throw everything you want. Anything that has any odor can go in the bag and be hung up in a tree. I also have 50 feet of parachute cord. Has worked out quite well for me, and so that'll be coming with me. That's my bear bag setup and my food bag. For my kitchen, I have a cozy for rehydrating in plastic bags because I do have a fair amount of dehydrated food, and it's just nice to throw you throw the food in there while it's rehydrating. You know, for water bottles, I have a smart water bottle, and I have just this plastic bottle that's been with me a long time. Not even sure what it came from, but been around for a while. The smart water bottle is it's pretty good. It works well with the Sawyer squeeze, as does this bottle. My only complaint about these bottles, and maybe it's, you know, carrying it sticks up very high, and if you put the Sawyer squeeze on top of that, it's even taller. So it's just a very long, skinny bottle. I like it a little bit thicker, something like this. Now for my cook kit, I have a titanium pot, and I have a cozy on that as well. I really like to just kind of heat some water and use that in the morning. I have a cup of coffee and whatever I have for breakfast. So the titanium pot is really lightweight, and it's kind of nice for backpacking. I wish maybe I had gone a little bit bigger than 750 milliliter, but honestly, it's plenty fine. And I like how it has an automatic mark of where I put the water in for rehydrating. You know, 2 cups of water all the time, which is nice. Now, for I also carry a cup. The cup fits nicely in there as well. Now for my stove, I use an alcohol stove, and let me put it together here. My alcohol stove here. It's it's kind of a modified cat stove. You can put the pot right on top, and the flames come up from the sides here. I also carry just a little measuring cup. This is easy measuring. Basically, one cupful is good to get 2 cups of water boiling, and that's in most circumstances. I carry a lighter and a windscreen. You know, if you're using an alcohol stove, the windscreen is required. You can't effectively do alcohol without it. So that's my cook system. All this is extremely light. I will have to carry alcohol, which is a little bit heavier than, say, the butane canisters, but you don't have to carry the butane canister around. So it's also more inexpensive as well. Okay. Okay, now we're up to my electronics. So I have a few things. First, a battery. This battery, it's about 8,000 what is it, millihertz or whatever, I don't know. They measure it with 8,000. I have 2 chargers. The reason I'm carrying 2 is just because one's for C and charges very quickly, and the other one is for the battery. And then I have 2 cords, one for each, so I can charge both devices at the same time. The phone, I'm on the phone right now recording, so can't show you that one, but it's about the same as the battery, size and weight. As far as a headlamp, I actually have 2. So this one takes 3 AAAs and is really lightweight. I think it's like 3 ounces. And then rather than carrying any extra batteries or anything like that, this little bug light weighs less than an ounce, and it's a good backup. It'll clip onto the rim of your hat, or you can set it up and point it wherever you want to work. So that's my electronics. Okay, now we're up to the last section, the miscellaneous and personal items. So I have the deuce of spades and a roll of toilet paper and a waterproof bag. I haven't even used it yet. Every time I've been out. It's just this timing wasn't necessary. Um, I have a brace for my ankle. I have terrible ankles, so I do have a brace in case I roll them. Um, they say you pack your fears. Well, there it is. I'm packing it. A couple of wire cable ties. They can hold just about anything. So just there in case needed. They don't weigh anything. Um, for my poles, I'm using these Fox L poles. They were fairly inexpensive for carbon poles. They only weigh a pound. Really seem to work quite well. Have a little duct tape on one of them. And then I'm also going to be carrying the AT guide. I'm going to carry the whole thing, I think. At least it'll start out that way. If I start ripping parts off as I complete it, well, that's what happens. In addition, I have my vaccination card there, or a copy of it. As I come down, I'm going to try carrying an umbrella. Haven't actually used it in circumstances where it was needed, but I'm going to give it a go because I figure over the hike I'm going to run into rain that I'm hiking in for a long time that I do not want to that I want to find a way to get out of it. Um, for for my water purification, I'm going to be using the Sawyer Squeeze Mini. Um, it seems to work quite well. I'm not a big water treatment kind of person. I usually make a judgment call on when I see the water source and how it's flowing. Um, I have a ditty bag that I've used, probably used for 30 years now. Seems to hold up really well. I'm going to be carrying a mask and might even throw in a second. And that mask is actually sitting on my bug net and necessary for New England. Now, as far as personal items I'm going to be bringing, I'll start from the bottom. This is probably my luxury item. It's a magnesium fire starter. I find it actually has saved me a number of times because I can start my stove easily with it. And I find that the Bic lighter, it's come frequently enough. I've run it out of fuel because it's pressed on something. I have a mini tool that includes pliers and things like that. I have these fork and spoon. This is something that I don't know. I don't see other people carrying these, but these are nylon. They're made out of nylon. They're almost indestructible, which is really great. They weigh almost nothing. I got some dental floss and an extra cap from my water bottles, toenail clipper, a toothbrush, some earplugs if it gets noisy. In fact, I got 2 of those. Hand sanitizer, 100% DEET, and some sunscreen. Now, the sunscreen and the DEET are kind of small amounts. I don't expect to use all of the sunscreen. It's just when it gets really open. But the DEET, it's not a lot of DEET. So, but I can always buy it along the way. I have a towel, which is one of those small towels that you open up and they get bigger. And then I've got a pill vial that I filled up with Tylenol and ibuprofen, and also some multivitamins. So I think that about does it for my drugs. Okay, and I think that just about does it. Okay, folks, that about does it for my gear. My thought is I'll do a video on what food I'm going to be starting with. And since I'm starting up north, I actually hit 115 miles right off the bat, which is going to probably take me 8 days. So it's a good amount of food. I have to decide whether or not I can get a food drop. The people will drive in and drop and do a food drop for you about halfway. But right now I'm thinking I may not do that. I'll just carry. Another video that I'm going to be doing is a question and answer video. I've been getting a lot of questions, and a lot of them are actually repeat questions. So what I'll try to do is go through those, and if folks can get their answers off of YouTube, then great. But I'll plan to do that, and then we'll start up doing the trail as soon as I am dropped off at the bus. Laura will be dropping me off in Portland on Sunday, day before Memorial Day. So, and then up to Katahdin I go. Thank you, everybody. I'll talk to you later.